Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Belmont Park here on Saturday. It is October the 22nd, 2016. I'm going to look at all the stakes races on today's program. Before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kick 5 for more selections from racetracks around the world. The races I'll be looking at are races 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So basically races 3 through 10. So let's get on to it. Starting off race number 3, it's New York Day, I guess, at Belmont. It's always a great card. I've been there a few times on this day. They usually set up these like little. It's kind of like a harvest festival. I think. Have you ever been there on that kind of day? They have like these selling New York, produce, New York knickknacks and stuff, tchotchkes, or if you want to go with that kind of thing. It's a great day if you're at the racetrack. I haven't been there in about 10 years on New York day, but you know. But today's third race from Belmont is the 38th Iroquois Stakes. Purse $150,000 for fillies, mares, 3-year-olds, and upwards. New York breds here. Field of 6 horses traveling 6.5 furlongs on the main track. Some of these races seem pretty easy on paper. Some of them are very deep, so you could go a few ways instead of them. And some of them 6.5 furlongs. And I'm going to go to the 3 horses top selection. Number 3, Quizon. Going to go 3 4 1 2. 3 4 1 2. Number 3, Quizon. 8 5. Javier Castellano on this one. Last time out, we're on October the 1st at Belmont Park. About 6.5 furlongs on the mud. And the Gallant Bloom handicap. Source finished second by 3/4 of length. Was a little bit wide, but after that wide trip, he was closing up a little bit. He needed a little extra ground. I think he could have got it that day if he saved the ground. Start before came at Saratoga. 6.5 furlongs, August 18th in Union Avenue Stakes. Horse finished second by 1/3 lengths. Was had to check out in the stretch. Was a little bit. Had a little bit of traffic trouble. Wasn't the best of starts. I have to say that last race, the Gallant Bloom was very impressive. The Union Avenue had a little bit of trouble for him, but what he did in that Gallant Bloom was against wasn't against stakes. State horses. It was against regular kind of stakes company. He did very good for that second place finish. And the Union Avenue he did okay, but he had a lot of trouble. And then the Dance of Renee Stakes, Belmont Park, 6 furlongs, July the 3rd. His horse finished second by 2 3/4 lengths. He was just a little bit wide, and need to get a little extra kick. Today breaks from the inside, which I don't think is half bad. Here at Belmont, this horse is 6-3. It's won 50% of her starts at Belmont. Last win we have to go back to just basically an optional 6-2 claimer at Gulfstream Park, 7 furlongs on soft March 25th. Horse won by 4 1/4 lengths. Basically on the lead all throughout. Very easy victory. And then this horse won the Bowery last May. But I think this horse should have a good run here today, so I'm going to take my chances with this one. So to recap my bets for race number 3, it's the Iroquois from Belmont Park. Going to go with the 3-horse Quizon. Going to go 3 4 1 2, 3 4 1 2. To the 4th race now from Belmont, which is the 39th running of the Hudson Handicap. Purse $150,000 for it's a handicap here for 3-year-olds and upwards. New York State approved, New York sired horses, as all races are. On today's program, field of 5 horses traveling 6.5 furlongs on the main track. And if you're playing the pick 4 or pick 5, I guess, there's a definite single you could find in this race, and that will go to the 2-horse number 2, Weekend Hideaway. Gonna go 253. Number 2, Weekend Hideaway. 4-1, Luis Saez on this one. This horse came out of the Vosburg Invitational a few weeks ago here at Belmont Park on the mud. This horse finished third by 2 lengths and really surprised me. It was a little bit wide and he kept going. I think the 6.5 furlongs or 7 furlong distance would be perfect for this horse. He got beat by Joking. Joking, I believe, will be running in the British Cup Sprint in a few weeks' time, about 2 weeks' time. But, he had a very game third place finish. Start before came at Saratoga, 6 furlongs, just in basic allowance race for 85,000. Horse won by length, was the favorite, and he kept going. A very nice victory that day. And then the Jim Morrissey, Saratoga, 6.5 furlongs, July 28th. Horse finished 4th by a length as the favorite. Just a little bit out finish, was very wide. That last race was very impressive. Ran this race last year, finished third by 3/4 length, going 6.5 furlongs behind Palace. Palace, who's another very good horse. Just had a horrible trip. Was wide. It was in tight. It just wasn't his day. But I think this horse is coming into the race a lot better. Ran against so much tougher last time out. I don't think this field has anything to knock against him. But so going with this one here. So to recap my bets for race number 4 from Belmont, I'm gonna go with the 2-horse. Gonna go 253. To the 5th race now from Belmont, which is the 20th running of the Maid of Mist Stakes, purse $250,000 for fillies, 2-year-olds. We have a field of 9 horses traveling a mile on the main track, not the turf, the main track. Mile. And my top selection here, I'm going to go to the rail horse, number 1, who is Iron Miz. I'm going to go 1495, 1495. Number 1, Iron Miz, 3-1. John Velasquez for Todd Pletcher. Last time out, ran at Belmont, 7 furlongs, October the 2nd, in the Joe A. Gima Stakes, or Gima Stakes, whatever you want to call it. Source finished third by 5.5 lengths that day. It was very wide that day, about 3 wide, but, it was closing up very good. I think he should improve off that start. Start before came at Saratoga, August 26th in the Seeking Anti Stakes. Horse won by 3 course length, closed up incredibly well. Was wide again that day, but was dueling with the leaders, but really took off and very nice victory. And then the Colleen Stakes at Monmouth, 5.5 furlongs, August 6th. The horse finished second by 3.5 lengths behind a horse by the name of Red Lodge. Red Lodge ran incredibly well that day. Red Lodge ran a race back in May, the end of May, 5 furlongs on the Widener turf course, and just opened up very good. I believe after that, Red Lodge might even, it's Wesley Ward horse, Red Lodge might even ran in Royal Ascot. Didn't do anything there, but the Red Lodge, she should have won that day, and she did. She really showed her class. Very good victory by that horse. But this horse closed for second. Wasn't catching that horse that day. Since they put this horse on the dirt, I think he's done well. His first 3 starts were on turf, but the switch to the dirt really helped this one. So I'm going to go with this horse here as a top selection. So to recount my bets for race number 5, it's the Maid of Mystics. I'm going to go with the 1 horse Iron Miz. Going to go 1495, 1495. Race 6 from Belmont Park now on this Saturday afternoon is the 38th running of the Mohawk. Purse $200,000 for 3-year-olds and upwards, New York bred, sired, foaled, all that crap. It's a great race here. We have a field of 9 horses. The 3 horse is main track only, traveling a mile 16th on the inner turf course. Mile 16th. And just ignore that jump cut from before. My webcam might have spazzed out. Mile 16th. And my top selection here will go to the 7 horse, number 7, who is Lubash. I'm going to go 7916, 7916. Number 7, Lubash. 6-1, this 9-year-old horse here, with Junior Alvarado for Christophe Clements. Last time out, ran at Belmont Park, mile 16, September the 17th, an optional 80 claimer. Horse won by a half length that day. It was a little bit farther back, was a little bit wide also, but closed up in the stretch run and had a very nice victory, winning by a half length at 6-1. Start before it came July the 16th at Belmont, 1 mile in the Forbidden Apple Stakes. Horse finished fourth by 4.5 lengths in a field of 5 horses. A lot of horses are coming. I think most of the horses from that race are coming to run today. This horse, finished fourth behind King Creeps, who won, is running back into this race. Tapitation's running into this race. But this horse just was a little bit wide, really couldn't keep up with them. It just wasn't the best of starts. Start before May 30th on a yielding turf course here at Belmont, 1 mile into Kingston. Horse finished fourth by 4.25 lengths. Again, was a little bit wide and, closed up a tiny bit, but couldn't do anything with that wide trip again. This horse ran this race last year and won it by a head. Really well, just getting up there by the head bob. But I think he should have a good start here today. He's a veteran. He's been around the block a few times, but he always grinds it out. 6-1, I'm gonna take the price with this one also. So to recount my bets now for race number 6, the Mohawk from Belmont. Gonna go with the 7-horse. Gonna go 7916, 7916. Now to race number 7 from Belmont, which is the 20th running of the Sleepy Hollow Stakes. Purse $250,000 for 2-year-olds, New York breds. Field of 10 horses, traveling a mile, and I have a short story about this race. And I think it's the horse that won this race. I think it was 2004, traveling a mile. This race, one of the times I was here in 2004, was a horse by the name of Galloping Grocer. Um, he was, I think he was undefeated coming into this race, and it kept talking about him. He kept winning easy. I think he was trained by Dominic Schettino, but he came to this race. It was like the 3rd race that afternoon at Belmont. A cold fall day, and this horse ran and he just kept opening up, and after the finish line, he was kept opening up without the whip urging. After the finish line, Velasquez started using the whip to really get the horse like a kind of a breeze after the finish line. We'll never forget that. He ran a very good run, Galloping Grosser, who won this race 2004. But in this year's running, this one's, it's very good here. And I'm going to go with the 4 horse Gold for the King as a top selection. I'm going to go for 738 4738. Number 4 Gold for the King, 3-1 Jose Ortiz for Carlton Baker. Last time out, ran the finger like 6 furlongs in New York Breeders' Futurity. Horse won by 2 3/4 lengths that day. This horse is very wide that day, 5 wide at the 2.5 furlong pole, but got the lead and just kept going. A very nice victory. Then start before in the Funny Side Stakes at Saratoga on the mud, 6.5 furlongs, August 26th. Horse finished third by 13 1/4 lengths behind Syndergaard. This horse was wide and wasn't catching Syndergaard, who ran incredible. I think Syndergaard won by like 16 lengths or something stupid like that. And then this horse broke his maiden against state bred horses at Saratoga, 6 furlongs, August 8th, won by 3 3/4 lengths. Easy victory at the end, but at the beginning, this horse got a little bumpy, so the beginning wasn't so good, but the end was very good, the end result. But, I think this horse should have a good run here today. It is, a kind of a very wide open race. If you're playing the pick 5, there is a late pick 5 today. I would go a little deep. I would maybe use all 4 horses I have on that Superfect and maybe catch a price. But to recap my bets now for race number 7 from Belmont, it's the 20th Sleepy Hollow. I'm going to go with the 4 horse Gold for the King. Gonna go 4738 4738. Now to race number 8. The 8th race is the third run of the Empire Distaff Handicap, purse $250,000. It's a handicap for fillies, mares, drills, and upwards New York breds. Field of 9 horses traveling the distance of ground of a mile and a 16th. Mile 16th. And this race is pretty new. It's only 3 years old, so it's a nice little one. I could see this race staying around for quite a while, for 40 years or 50 years, But they're traveling a mile 16th here, and my top selection here will go to the 8 horse Super Surprise. It's going to be a surprise. Going to go 8219, 8219. Number 8, Super Surprise. 72, John Velasquez for Todd Pletcher for Rapoli Stables. Last time out, it's ran at Saratoga, a mile and the 8th in the Fleet Indian Stakes against state bred horses. Horse won by 4 lengths from the 5 which is very hard to win going a mile and 8th at Saratoga. This horse, of course, was wide, but, had a clear trip, closed up very nicely to win by 4 lengths. It was all around very good victory. Start before it came at Saratoga, 6 furlongs, July 24th in a lounge race, 75,000. Horse won by 2 1/4 lengths that day. Again, was from the rail and field 12 horses, stayed that way all around. Got the lead at the 3/16th pole and then opened up. Very nice victory for this horse. And then ran in the Maiden Mist last year on October the 24th here at Belmont Park 1 mile, 2015. This horse won by 3/4 length that day at 17-1. It was very wide and just got up there in the final 100 yards or so. I think this horse is kind of, its running style fits Belmont Park to a T. I think this horse will love the mile 16 distance. Post position, not so much, but I think this horse should do well here today. 7-2, not the best of prices, but, I'll take it. So going to go with this one. So to recap my bets for race number 8, it's the Empire Distaff Handicap. Going to go with the 8 horse. Gonna go 8219, 8219. So now let's get on to race number 9 from Belmont. I almost said Saratoga, but the 9th race from Belmont is the 36th running of the Ticonderoga Stakes. Purse $200,000 for fillies, mares, drills, and upwards New York bred horses. Field of 12 horses, 7 horses main track only, traveling a mile and a 16th on the dirt. Mile 16th on the Widener turf. And my top selection here will go to the 11 horse. Number 11, the Teacups. Going to go 11 10 12 6. 11 10 12 6. Number 11, the Teacups. 5-1 Luis Saez for Jeremiah Engelhardt, the 6-year-old mare. Last time out at Belmont Park, mile 8th, September 25th in the Het Kanger Stakes. This horse finished second by 2 1/4 lengths behind 4-star Crookwood. This horse lost to 2 starts in a row. This horse is very wide, got it for second, but, really just was incredibly wide going on that inner turf course, which you do not want to do. Today, this horse has a hard task because this horse is breaking from the 11 hole, which is very hard to do to get it to save some ground, but maybe he can, but start before Endiadio at Saratoga on yielding turf course, August 26th, mile 16th. This horse finished third by a length, closed up to get third that day behind four-star Cooked, but had to steady a few times. Again, wide, really, just cannot get that wide trip today. This horse here at Belmont Park, this horse is 6-2. His last win came in the Mount Vernon back in May. The horse won by half length, closing up very good. It was far back early. It was off the lead by 14 lengths going in backstretch, but closed incredibly well. Was wide, but got up there. I thought a horse could improve a run like that today. I think this horse could win. Ran this race last year from the 10 hole. This horse finished eighth by 3.5 lengths. It was wide and just had nothing. Jockey kept whipping. It was disappointing. But I think this horse should have an improvement today. I think he finished second in last year's Hettinger Stakes, the preparation for this race, or whatever they call that race, or whatever you pronounce it. But I think he's coming to this race a little better this year. 'Cause he's been facing a little bit tougher. So I'm gonna go with this horse here. So to recap my bets for race number 9, it's the Ticonderoga from Belmont. Gonna go with the 11 horse. Gonna go 11, 10, 12, 6, 11, 10, 12, 6. So now let's get on to race number 10, the final race I'll be looking at here on YouTube for you today for Belmont, which is the 41st running of the Empire Classic Handicap. Purse $300,000 at the handicap for 3-year-olds and upwards, New York breds and New York foaled horses. Field of 9 horses traveling a mile and 1/8 on the main track, and this race is always a good one. It really is. A mile and 1/8 of traveling. And I'm going to go to the 2 horse as a top selection. Number 2, Governor Malibu, and this is a single, I think. He's been facing so much tougher last few starts. I'm going to go 2-6-9-4. 2-6-9-4. I'm a very big fan of Royal Posse, who is just incredible, and Rudy Rodriguez is on a tear at the current Belmont meet. But, I think Governor Malibu is just the better horse, so that's why I'm going with him as a top selection. Number 2, Governor Malibu, 2-1, Joel Rosario for Christophe Clement. This New York bred, like all of them in this race and this card. Last time out, ran at Belmont Park on the mud. Mile 16, September 30th, an optional 40 claimer. Horse won by 7.5 lengths. Was the best horse in that field of 6. Improved it. Kept going, opening up by, just kept opening up. Very good victory. 10 cents to the dollar on a very waterlogged turf main track. Start before in the Travers at Saratoga, mile quarter, August 17th, 27th. This horse finished 5th by 20 1/4 lengths. Was far back early. Closed up a little bit, but wasn't catching Arrowgate, who ran just a freakish race. Bottom of the start was wide, but, closed up a tiny bit. Like I said, wasn't catching Arrogate. And then start before in the Jim Dandy, Saratoga, mile 8th, July 30th. Horse finished second by 1/4 length. Closed up a little bit, but wasn't catching Lobon, who ran on the lead all throughout. And, just this horse is, just couldn't catch him. This horse, they always have the show on Naira, the trips and traps. This horse is a definite trip in the Belmont Stakes on June the 11th. This horse could have, I think this horse might have won it that day, was going to be the creator. In the Belmont Stakes, top of the stretch, about the 3/16 pole, there was a hole open, and Joe Arsario tried to go into that little hole, and he got stopped by a horse and had to steady, and that took off the horse's momentum. If he would have got that through that hole, I think this horse would have won. He finished 4th that day, but it was just had to check really badly. It was disappointing 4th, and I had a lot of money on that horse that day. I think I had 20 to win on this. But for me, that's a lot of money. I'm broke college student, you have to remember. A lot of people say, oh, $20 not a lot, but it was disappointing 4th that day against the field of 13. But I think this horse should do have a good start here today. 5-1 here at Belmont. So to recap my bets for race number 10, it's the Empire Classic from Belmont Park. Gonna go with the 2 horse Governor Malibu, my best bet of the card. Gonna go 2-6-9-4, 2-6-9-4. So good luck to all, and follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5. Good luck, everybody.